Hello and welcome to the Healing Circle, a modern day approach to spirituality hosted by the founder, Spiritual Wellness Christine. It is my mission to help people find an achievable approach to wellness and spiritual healing. With insights into the spiritual world, this weekly podcast will remind you of just how important it is to find balance in your busy life. Hello and welcome back to the Healing Circle. I'm your host, Christine, an intuitive energy healer, a spiritual wellness advocate, and I'm so glad you're here today because we're diving into an important topic, how to choose the right healer for your journey, and perhaps even more importantly, how to recognize the red flags that signal a healer may not be the best fit for you. Choosing the right healer is about more than just finding someone with a title or credentials. It's about finding someone you feel safe with, someone who truly supports your growth, and someone who practices with integrity. So let's explore this together. So why choosing the right healer matters. Before we get into the red flags, let's take a moment to reflect on why this choice is so significant. A healer can guide you through a deeply healing, transformative experience. When you open yourself up energetically and emotionally, you're placing your trust in someone to hold that space for you. That's why it's essential to approach this decision with care. You want to feel empowered and healed, not manipulated or pressured. And while there are many incredible gifted healers out there, not everyone operates with the same level of integrity. So how do we identify when a healer may not be the best fit? Let's start by exploring some common red flags. First up, let's talk about the guarantees of instant results. I'm seeing this time and time again. If a healer is promising you instant healing or transformation after one session, that's a big red flag. True healing is a process. There's no one thing that will heal you straight away. I'm sorry, listeners. That is it. You may not even heal fully in this lifetime. It is a journey. Okay, it takes process, it takes time, commitment, and often layers and layers of work. A healer can guide you, but the real magic happens when you integrate the work into your life. So it's really important, that integration piece. A lot of my soul coaching clients come to me and they have done one ceremony after another and another and another. And sometimes like a few of them have done like the plant medicine, and it's constant plant medicine over a couple of weeks. And they've come to me with their anxiety through the roof. They're scattered. Their energy is off. They're just not feeling the balanced or grounded that they were expecting within themselves. That's because they haven't sat in the integration. You can do all the ceremonies you want, but if you're not sitting in the integration and having a larger gap between these ceremonies to sit and learn the lessons that came up and integrate them, you're literally just going from one thing to another. And yeah, it will be burnout at the end and you won't get the healing, you know. When we have shared our energy with a healer as well, it depends how far that healer is on their journey. Because I strongly believe a healer can only heal you to the level that they've healed themselves. So if a healer has only just done a little bit of work on themselves, the clients that they attract will only get the top level healing or the surface level of healing. And that's the difference where, you know, the energy of some healers, where you can walk into a room straight away, into a healing room, and deep down, you kind of know that these are the real ones because they've done the work. They're continuously doing the work. My example is, for me personally, I started really going into deep healing work 5 years ago, as I said before, after ayahuasca ceremony. She set me on a path of expanding my knowledge and deepening my wisdom, and also really transforming myself on my healing journey. And it has been layer upon layer, stepping stone by stepping stone. And I've noticed the more things I do for myself in terms of my own healing journey, the more things open up and I can create more sacred space for my clients to heal. And that is so true with all healers. If they're not doing the work in themselves, they're not able to bring their clients to
to a deeper level of healing, which they may need. Okay. Another red flag is watch for the pressure to book more sessions than you're comfortable with. If a healer is pushing you into a package or making you feel obligated to commit to long term without first seeing how one session goes or, feels, that's worth questioning. A good healer will honor your autonomy and let you decide the pace of your healing journey. So, for example, I'm always saying, from my point of view, I say, if you feel drawn to, that's the link to book on for more. It doesn't sit well with me to have this pyramid, hierarchy type of thing selling constantly, And I find when you sit back as a healer and say, this is what I do, these are my services, they find you. Your clients come and find you anyway. It's actually a beautiful thing when you sit back in your power and say, this is what I do. Of course, advertising, because it's a busy world out there. But when it's not so infiltrating, it's constant. You might see them where healers are coming over from different parts of the country and the ads are in your face all day, every day, and making these mad claims. That's pressure, and then it's kind of making you, well, for me, it kind of makes me stand back a little bit. But the pressure to book, I had a client who came to me and he said that he went to a healer and the healer was like, you have to come to me now every week for the next 7 weeks, every Tuesday. And he was like, I did not like that. And so I was like, that makes complete sense. So just listen, see what they offer. So also vague or unclear methods. If a healer can't clearly explain what they do or their process or what to expect during a session, might be a sign that they're not fully confident in their work, or worse, that they're hiding something. You have the right to understand what's happening during your session and your ability and why. So ask questions. The biggest one, though, of the red flags is disrespecting your boundaries. This can look like making you feel unsafe during a session, not honoring your comfort levels, or even oversharing about their personal lives in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable or it's unprofessional. Healers should create a space that feels safe, sacred, and centered on you. Another thing about disrespecting boundaries, I had a call from a girl who put all their trust and money into someone that claimed to be a shaman, and he specialized in womb healing. Herself and a number of girls lost out to nearly €4,000, and for the person to inappropriately touch them and also say things that triggered a trauma in them. And that's the other things. I think there was a bit of confusion around shamans and shamanic practitioners. So I'm a shamanic practitioner, but I would never claim to be a shaman. Now, I could have been a shaman in previous lifetimes. Great. But I'm claiming to be a shamanic practitioner because a shaman, they come from South America, Nepal, they have done the work, they've carried the family traditions through, and they've been in that space for years. Someone over here that just does a shamanic practitioner course and claims to be a shaman, no, they haven't got the experience and the knowledge as a shaman that's in South America. I hope that's clear. A shamanic practitioner is somebody who works with the shamanic traditions and works in the energy healing space. But a true shaman are the ones that have continued the family tradition and have lived in South America, Nepal, all them places. And they really do the work. Another thing is making big, huge claims about their abilities. For example, if someone claims that they're the only person who can help you or that they have the ultimate exclusive method for healing, it's worth questioning their intention. True healers know that they are facilitators, not saviors. So a healer will always say, I create the healing space for you to heal. I don't actually heal you. So listen to their messages. And also, energy never lies. If you're getting an ick off a healer's page, but initially they had millions of followers and you're like, this is the real deal because they have loads of followers, that's not the best way to approach it. It's about sitting with their energy and looking at them on social media and ask yourself, do they make me feel good? Would I be able to trust them to hold space for me? And would it be safe? So, it's not necessarily the healers that have the biggest followings are the ones that are authentic. And then finally, beware of healers that make you feel fearful or dependent. I've had a lot of clients that have come to me and they feel they have to give all their control over to the healer. Healing is about empowerment, not control. So if a healer is suggesting that you can't heal without them or making you feel like you're broken or incomplete, that's a clear sign that they may not have your best interests at heart. How to protect yourself. So we've covered the red flags. Let's talk about how to protect yourself when choosing a healer. So number one, do your research. Look for testimonials, reviews, word of mouth, recommendations if possible. Attend a group event or a consultation to get a free feel for their energy. Number two, ask questions. A good healer will welcome your curiosity. It'll be open to any questions you may have about their training, experience, and what you can expect during a session. Number three is trust your intuition. If something feels off, that's honoring your feelings. Your intuition is your powerful guide, so listen to it and set boundaries. Remember it's okay to say no, whether it's to a session, a package, or even a healer who doesn't feel like the right fit. Remember, healing is a sacred journey and you deserve to work with someone who truly supports and respects you. I want to share a quick personal story of my experience. As most of you know, I stepped away from most of my in-person events last year. And a lot of people are like, why? We need you. Well, my journey started 5 years ago after an ayahuasca ceremony. I started broadening my horizon, expanding my knowledge, and really deepening my healing journey. And I went from yoga to energy to Reiki healing, then went into EFT, then went into my shamanic practitioner course, then went straight into Kundalini activation. And that was over 5 years. Last year, I started a really, really popular in-person event called the Shamanic Touch Activation. And it was a blend of shamanic energy healing and Kundalini activation. And I loved it. The energy is off the charts and the people loved it. And it was just so very transformative and deeply healing event. And I loved it. I'm not blowing my own trumpet. It was just the way it was. But what happened was at the same time, I left my full-time 70,000 a year pensionable job. And it was great for the first couple of months. But then it plummeted into the ego saying I had to make money. And I realized there was a fear of money coming in. And so my ego I was going in between my ego of I have to do this event because I have to make money. And suddenly I had to stop. So I stopped all my in-person events except for my Full Moon Healing Circle because that's a charity event and I just couldn't stop that. But all the other paid in-person events, I stopped them all because I wanted to sit in the fear of money. I wanted to sit and learn this aspect of me and shed this layer because I realized I had a fear of a lack of money. And we have the highest mortgage with a really, really big interest rate, it's colossal. And, I realized that I was bringing in a fear of losing my home, saying no to my children. That's the big thing a lot of parents struggle with nowadays. And I was trying to reflect on where that came in. We lived in a very comfortable house. However, we never had disposable income. And my mom had to pay all the bills because my dad wasn't working because he was sick with managed depression, schizophrenia. And so we had a lack of money. I remember my dad used to save up all the stamps in the Kellogg's cornflakes boxes. I think he had to get 20 and get a free Big Mac. And then he would bring me and my sister on a Saturday to McDonald's and eat half the Big Mac because he wouldn't pay any more or maybe didn't have the money. But I noticed actually later on in life, when he died, he had thousands in different banks all over the place, but he lived like a homeless person. So that fear of money he instilled on me. And I felt I had to heal him and me and sit in that fear of money. So for 6 months, I didn't make a penny. Very rare. Like it wasn't constant. It wasn't a stream, but I had to sit in it. If anyone going through this experience, it's not for the faint-hearted, but you learn a lot. So I feel as I'm coming out of this, when I had my experience with San Pedro and ayahuasca 2 weeks ago ceremony, it came up, I had to bring shamanic touch activation back. You've healed that aspect of yourself, and it has to come from the heart now. So when I was in the ego of making money or wanting to create this healing modality for people from the heart, to get over that conflict, I had to sit in my fear. And it was really transformational. So yeah, I'm bringing it back now. I think there's just been this, someone as little spirits have lit a fire under my arse, and they've said, now is the time to do the shamanic touch activation ceremonies. So they will be released very, very soon. So that's like, I had to heal that aspect of myself before I can go back out into the world and show my services in order to help create spaces that help people heal themselves in. And that's what I mean when a healer can only bring you as far as they have healed themselves. And I feel now I'm more working from the heart space. And I've healed that aspect of myself in terms of money. It wasn't easy, but it had to be done. I hope this episode has given you some clarity and confidence in choosing the right healer for your journey. Remember, you have the power to choose somebody who truly aligns with your energy and supports your growth. If you're curious about my approach or want to explore intuitive energy healing or any of my services, you can visit my website at spiritualwellnesschristine.com. And I also offer discovery calls if you're unsure about where to start. Thank you for tuning into the Healing Circle. If you find this episode helpful, please share with a friend, leave a review, or connect with me on social media. Until next time, stay aligned, trust your intuition, and remember, you hold the power to heal from within.
We have come to the end of this week's episode. I hope that you enjoyed everything that we covered today. If you're interested in what I do and who I am, you can always go to my website, spiritualwellnesschristine.com, where you can book in for a session and where you can sign up to my newsletter. You can also go over to Instagram, where you probably get the most up-to-date access. My handle is @spiritualwellnesschristine. With all that being said, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here next week. May your mind be at peace, your body in harmony, love in your heart, and your spirit free. Have a good one.